Good evening. I certainly hope you're doing well right now. My name is Victor Muyakane, and alongside me is Catherine Simaloy on Sign Language. Together, we're going to take you through a journey to find out what's happening across our nation and across our world. To give you a glimpse of that, here are the highlights. Concerns emerge over alleged irregular collections through the e-Citizen platform, with the Auditor General reporting that 1.8 billion shillings may have been misappropriated. A new report by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission ranks the Ministry of Interior as the most corrupt in government. Police officers, KRA officials and chiefs also named among the top public servants involved in bribery and misconduct.
And the seeking of employment, people are ready to pay a lot of money.
In Mukutani, families displaced by repeated bandit attacks continue to seek refuge. Women in particular are bearing the brunt of trauma, now living in makeshift camps that they reluctantly call home. All right, we begin our news here. And 6 people, including 2 anti-stock theft police unit officers, 1 Kenya Defence Forces officer, 2 women and a child, have died following a horrific road accident on the Nairobi-Nakuru highway. The crash occurred around 6 p.m. after a Toyota Fielder vehicle collided head-on with a trailer. Authorities have since moved the bodies to the Nakuru County mortuary as investigations begin into the tragic accident.
These are the mangled remains of a crash that claimed 6 lives in Baruk, Nakuru County. Rescuers pulled 2 anti-stock theft unit officers, a KDF officer, 2 women and a child from this vehicle moments before it burst into flames. According to Nakuru Traffic Commander Alan Ogola, the car, which was heading to Nairobi, was overtaking when it smashed head-on into an oncoming trailer and veered off the road.
The accident involved a Toyota Fielder, which was heading towards Nairobi from Nakuru. In the process of overtaking a fleet of vehicles, he was hit head-on. The driver of the Fielder lost control, hit another Nissan vehicle. As a result, it veered off the road. 5 victims, the anti-stock theft unit officers, the 2 women and the child, died on the spot, while the KDF officer succumbed at Nakuru Level 5 hospital during treatment. He lost 5 people. 2 male adults, 2 female adults, and 1 male infant.
Police are once again urging drivers to exercise caution to curb the rising number of accidents. The bodies have been transferred to the Nakuru Teaching and Referral Hospital mortuary.
Majority of the accidents are caused by human error. So if we can only follow the law, the traffic rules, the road rules, will reduce these accidents.
All right, here's a question for you. And it's a question that was actually posed by the President. Is the President actually the best ever? And this statement by President William Ruto yesterday that he has combined all his predecessors' qualities has received mixed reactions across the political divide. The President, in his statement, appeared to term himself as a hybrid version of all Kenya's past presidents, adding that he has harnessed all of their good traits. Today, the President has actualized one of the promises he made yesterday to the leaders of Tharaka Nithi County, of course, as Josh Onsare reports.
I have the courage of Jomo. I have the understanding of Moi. I have the education of Kibaki. And I have the plan we shared with Uhuru Kenyatta.
It is the statement by President William Ruto on Monday that he appeared to term himself as a hybrid version of all the past presidents that has received mixed reactions.
I have no excuse than to do everything that needs to be done in this nation.
With the current heightened political temperatures in the country and criticism against President William Ruto's regime, scholars, political and governance pundits say it is expected for a leader to make such statements.
We all think we are the best, except that sometimes out of humility, to use the word best may be a little difficult. So maybe because of the heat of the moment or because of what he's going through and the attacks directed against him, he is forced to say he's the best.
The president has on the recent past been accused of failed promises in his administration, and on Tuesday, his Monday promise was fulfilled. The tender for the alignment of Nithi Bridge in Tharaka Nithi County advertised as President William Ruto promised on Monday. The promise was made when he met leaders from Tharaka Nithi County after years of fatalities at the bridge.
Ruto has done a lot of promises in infrastructure development, the line of building roads. Unfortunately, this hasn't been realized. You see, for Uhuru, it went beyond promise. For Uhuru, the roads are there on the ground. You can drive on those roads. Ruto, it is still mainly at the level of commitment.
If the experience as listed by the president was not enough, Ruto now says he is a hybrid that is laden with all the good traits of his predecessors.
Rais alisema yeye ni rais mzuri wa kwanza hapa. Kitu ya kwanza naweza mwambia sisi ndio tunafaa autuulize sisi tumjibu kwa maana sisi ndio tunamuona chenye anatufanyia.
Kwa maoni yangu naona kwamba ako sawa. Rais amejaribu kusaidia pande moja kama ya SHA.
Sisi wananchi tunafaa tufile hapa chini. Tufile economy, tufile leadership yake, tuone circulation of money hapa kwa ground.
President Ruto is set to seek re-election in the 2027 election and will be banking on his performance during his first term. Joash Onsare, TV47, Nairobi.
Now, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has released the 2024 National Ethics and Corruption Survey, ranking police officers as the most corrupt and unethical professionals in the country. The survey, released on Tuesday, reveals that corruption remains one of the biggest vices plaguing the Kenyan employment sector. Kenyans reportedly encounter unethical practices most frequently in the Ministry of Interior, which topped the list of public institutions associated with corruption. The Ministry of Health came second, and as our reporter Samira Mohammed reports, unemployment remains the most pressing issue facing Kenyans today.
More Kenyans paid bribes to access public services in 2024 compared to the previous year. According to the damning report, Kenyans are more likely to encounter unethical practices and corruption in the Ministry of Interior than in any other public institution. The report revealed that bribes are most likely encountered in the government ministries led by the Ministry of Interior at 47.8%. The Ministry of Health ranked second with 19.7%, while the National Treasury followed a distant third with 5.8%. Other public institutions that featured prominently include the Ministry of Lands at 5.6%, Transport 3.9%, and Education at 2.6%.
But an average of over 200,000 Kenya shillings tells us that the levels of unemployment in our country are at a bad state. When people are willing to pay that kind of...
And for the counties listed with the highest average bribe amounts included Uasin Gishu County with an average of 25,800 shillings, Baringo County at more than 16,000 shillings, Embu at more than 12,800 shillings, Homa Bay and Bomet counties. EACC also noticed that bribes are most likely given in public service offices, as Kenyans are asked to pay bribes to access government services. Accessing a placement in the Teachers Service Commission was found to have the highest likelihood of being asked for a bribe of at least 72,000 Kenya shillings, 100,000 Kenya shillings for the national government tenders, 40,000 shillings extorted from pensioners at the National Treasury, 200,000 shillings paid at the Kenya Wildlife Services, and 47,129 shillings demanded by NSSF service providers. A report that not only reveals that Kenyans are still grappling with the high levels of bribery and unethical behavior in public institutions, but also exposes a worrying trend in which corruption is increasingly perceived as a necessary evil in accessing public services.
So how certain areas, certain services have been marked very strongly. Employment and the seeking of employment. People are ready to pay a lot of money. I don't know whether you noticed. Up to 250,000 on average. That is not little money. For a person who is seeking employment, willing to pay up to 250,000 so that they can secure that position. And that is average, which means some people pay more, some people pay less.
A survey that has listed police officers as the most corrupt and unethical professionals at 27%, with the Kenya Revenue Authority officers being ranked second at 17.3%. Chiefs came third at 16.2%, County Inspectorate officers 14.6%, and lawyers at 14%. Despite the widespread experience with bribery, a staggering 97.2% of victims did not report the incident, with only 2.8% filing complaints with authorities, as many citizens feel trapped in a cycle of extortion and fear victimization if they speak up. Samira Mohammed for TV47, Nairobi.
We are now joined by none other than J.B. Muturi, one of the politicians from the Central Region who's been in the news lately, especially about his criticism of the Kenya Kwanza government that he was part of at one point. After decades in politics, let's find out exactly where he stands now, where he thinks the country is, and where the country is going. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Asante.
Thank you so much. Now, straight into it, you've been in the Kenyan political space for a while, and your tenure has seen, different political alignments, and you've been part of that. What is perhaps the one thing about running government that you know now that you didn't know before?
Well, I think one of the things that I've learned, because I never worked in the executive, is that there's too much of hand dealings, and sometimes when you go to government with straight face, and all you want to do is to deliver to Kenyans. Sometimes you get a rude awakening, and that just to find when you find that oh gosh, it's not what I thought. Everything is not straight. But to give credit again, what I discovered when I came to the executive is that there are very, very many, very, very honest, genuine, hard-working public servants who mean well for the country. And I think we in the political class who go into government not with the intentions of giving service are the ones actually who have caused the kind of stagnation, slow movement, slow decision-making among civil servants.
Right.
But otherwise, my experience is that many, but the overwhelming majority of the public servants mean very well And they actually go to office to do service to the people.
Right.
But of course, as I said, things are not always on a straight line. And you discover that there are people who think that public service is synonymous with opening a kiosk.
What do you mean by that?
People think that they go to civil service to go and make money. And that is the biggest mistake that I find, and we must, as a country, address it.
Okay.
Because, like I say, the public servants will take cue from the political leadership. And if at the political level, we are committed to delivering to the people, the civil servants will do what is necessary.
Okay, but as a politician, some of these people that you ended up working with, in government, are your colleagues. These are people you've worked with. These are people you've shared political alignments with in different coalitions and so on. So these are people, and from the public view, these are people you know very well. Why is it that their conduct surprised you when you got into government? Why didn't you see these so-called red flags before?
Well, it wasn't quite easy, but of course you always give people a benefit of doubt. That when you see people seeking certain offices, you imagine that oh yes, I think notwithstanding anything else you may have heard about them or you may have known, there's still room for improvement,
right.
And that maybe you need to give people that opportunity to deliver. Yeah.
Do you regret taking up a role in this government?
I actually don't quite regret because of what I have been able to learn. Given that I never worked in the executive, what I have learned is a lot, and it has made me a better Kenyan. And knowing where it is people do shady things, and being there, being able to say, no, this I will not do, I will not allow. If you want to do it through some other place, not through the offices that I've held in the executive, for the short period that I served in the executive.
Right.
Yeah.
But would you say, so now, right now, this knowledge that you have, the newfound knowledge about really the inner workings of government, as you put it, how is this knowledge going to be useful to Kenyans? How do you plan to deploy this knowledge?
Well, I'm available to do any advisory role or consultative role to anybody that wishes to seek my advice. But also, I am actively involved in the United Opposition.
I see.
I'm part of it.
Let's talk about that.
And I'm doing everything within that space to ensure that certain things that I think I have seen have not been happening will happen differently. And that's why, if you recall, not too long ago, last June 24th, we launched something we call the People's Restorative Justice Commission.
Yes, we saw that.
It derives its mandate from Article 1 of the Constitution about sovereignty of the people. And we are working with several organizations to see how best to set it up so that we can begin receiving people's complaints and petitions. Because I think at the core of everything, what bothers Kenyans today, it is justice and fairness. If we can address the issue of justice and fairness, a lot of the other problems will fall into place.
One would ask you that, looking at the team that you now work with, what is now called the United Opposition, a lot of them are people who've been in government before. A lot of them are people who have had opportunities to serve at various levels, as members of parliament, as senators, as governors, and as former CSs and so on. What is it that is new about them that they're offering to Kenyans? What's new about them?
I'm seeing in the course of our discussions a renewed commitment to serving the people.
Just about that, if you don't mind, why do you call it a renewed commitment? And I ask this for this reason. A lot of these gentlemen and ladies have had a chance to serve. Why was there, was there a letdown of that commitment in the first place, that therefore there's need for a renewal? Why is it that they should have the answer when people would say, Kenyans would ask, they were part of the problem of what got us here?
Well, I think, for instance, if you look at the period after the promulgation of the Constitution in 2010, we've only had one government. During that period, I wasn't in the executive, I served in the legislature, and the work there is different from what happens in the executive. But of course, the executive generates a lot of the work that goes into the legislature.
True.
And you leave it. What I'm seeing is a commitment to people to say, look, Parliament should be led to do its work. Mm-hmm. In our 2010 Constitution, we set up accountability institutions, which we call the independent commissions. They should be allowed to function independently as they were expected to, or as they are expected under the Constitution. I see a commitment in the various meetings that we've held. And I keep, you tell people, you see, I notice this is not working, this doesn't work. And everybody will tell you, yeah, why should we interfere with the workings of independent offices? Why should we, for instance, also try to even imagine that we can interfere with the functioning of the judiciary? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you look at, you must allow a situation whereby, because we are not going to get NGOs, you must allow people to express themselves. And when people give you commitments and you say, yeah, maybe.
So you're convinced that this is a team that will deliver the change that Kenya needs?
I believe so. I believe so.
What role would you like to play going forward for Kenyans and in that particular alignment?
Any role that would be given to me, given that, of course, we are a big team, and we've said, those who are sincere, like myself, we've said, if any one of us is picked to be the flag bearer, yeah, the rest should support, yeah? And we've also said that we owe it to ourselves to appreciate and understand that the country called Kenya is bigger than any one of us. If you have that kind of commitment and conviction, then you're welcome to this side of the equation.
On that, what internal mechanisms exist for peer-to-peer censorship or oversight? What would you do if you find that some of your newfound colleagues are actually not fit to serve? What would be your next move? Are we going to see Mr. Muturi step out and form another coalition or run by himself?
Why should it be difficult? We are not a big team. We're not a very big team. We can be able to correct one another. And indeed, that's what we do.
Okay.
Please, because the first thing is service to the people.
Okay.
Restoring the rule of law in the country. Restoring justice.
Okay. All right.
Appreciating that the country is in a difficult position.
Okay.
And if you understand this, surely you should be able to allow it as a situation whereby a process that we are agreeing on, if it piques you, you have no reason.
Okay.
You cannot do, you cannot stand like I saw William Ruto saying he's the best president in Kenya. I mean, somebody who's been voted as the most corrupt president in the world stands and starts saying that he's the best person. the best thing that ever happened in Kenya, surely. Is he saying the rest of us are, if he is the best, yeah, from himself, which is really an absurdity, that the most corrupt president in the world, he stands before Kenyan people and says he is the best thing to have ever happened in the leadership of Kenya. So the rest of us are, if he is...
Here's a question for you about the same gentleman. At some point, looking back on the campaign trail, you when you were speaking to the people, you said, this man, I know him. He is my friend. We will work well together. He'll deliver for Kenyans. Is your relationship with the president broken beyond repair right now? In fact, when was the last time you spoke to him?
Must have been late last year.
Is the relationship broken beyond repair?
Absolutely. I don't think there's nothing I can share with William Ruto now.
What shifted in that relationship that wasn't there before?
I mean, a guy you tell, let's not do things this way. But you still go behind your back, and you find the same things that you have agreed that shouldn't be done, he's doing them. I mean, what kind of person is this?
What's your view on some of your cabinet?
And by the way, I don't, I'm always very measured. Yeah? I don't think whether there's anywhere ever during the campaign trail that I ever told Kenyans that this guy is going to deliver Kenya. I say that we are in a coalition. I always used to say we are in a coalition to deliver Kenya.
So are you disowning your original support for him?
No, I'm not. By that time, he was the presidential candidate. Okay. Yeah. So, and we were in a coalition, the Kenya Kwanza coalition. Yeah. Okay. So, I had to be part of it to say that we, in this coalition, we intend to deliver the. I mean, you saw we had a very magnificent plan.
The manifesto.
Manifesto.
The plan.
And in fact, let me tell you, when I went to the office of the Attorney General, whenever the president would talk to me, I'll tell him, go to page 50, I think it was 56. Because I was delivering on the manifesto as regards to the state law office.
I see.
Yeah?
I see.
Because, I believe I like doing what I have committed to. And I thought that everybody was committed to delivering, only to discover things happening, and
All right. Before I let you go, I want you to speak to Kenyan. There's a question here from Kenyans, and they're asking. It's simple. Different people have sent in that question, but the question is more or less the same.
Yeah.
To that camera, speak to Kenyans. Why should Kenyans trust you and your team to represent them this time?
Let me say this. We have been around. We have seen it all. We've seen the problems that bedevil our country. But we are committed to ensuring that first there's full implementation of the Constitution, because if it is, which it isn't now, we will not be where we are. We will not be overborrowing. We will not be seeing money which is meant for capitation being sent through things called empowerment programs. And some of us, and I must say, speaking for myself, I have said categorically that education, if we believe education is the greatest equalizer, then education, as provided for in Article 43 of the Constitution, should be free from primary to secondary. And I want to tell Kenyans, this team, this group, is committed to delivering on all those commitments that are in the Constitution, first and foremost, because not doing it is even a failure, is a moral, is a sin. So I would want to plead with Kenyans to trust that we mean what we say. We are not people given to theatrics. We are not people given to drama. We are not doing public relations. We mean business.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been J.B. Muturi. Thank you, sir, for joining us. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with more content after this break. And the Kenya Revenue Authority has posted strong revenue gains from betting services, with excise duty collections surpassing expectations. KRA reports a performance rate of 117.2% for the 2024-2025 financial year, driven by increased betting activity.
Hey kids and families, get ready for the most fun-packed show around, Kids on the Block. Join us for awesome music, magical storytime adventures, and super cool arts and crafts. Plus, we pop tasty treats in our cooking corner. Learn, laugh, and create with us. Kids on the Block, where every day is a brand new adventure. Don't miss it.
Rise and shine with the ultimate morning power play from Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Join Fred Indemuli.
Time for us to take a look at the headlines this morning
as he takes you straight to the heart of the nation on Morning Cafe. From breaking down political intrigues to unpacking the stories shaping our country, this is where tough questions meet hard truths.
The president says he has cancelled, then they say, Igwe.
Stay ahead, stay informed, and stay connected. It's your go-to morning fix on politics, policy, and the pulse of the nation.
Raila Odinga has put
Welcome back. If you're joining us right now, this is the Daily Report with me, Victor Muyakane and Catherine Simaloy. Now, we have a question for you, and this is something we want you to actually answer in a very innovative way. And the question is this: are MCAs doing enough to hold governors accountable? Do you think that MCAs are doing enough to hold governors accountable? We have yes, no, or maybe. Those are the options that you have. The question is on your screen right now, and alongside the question is a QR code. I'd like to give you an opportunity to scan that QR code and put in your answer. Yes, no, maybe. Let us know what your answer is, and the results will come directly to me, and I'll be happy to sample that and let you know, let other Kenyans know what the results of this particular poll are. Once again, we ask you, are MCAs doing enough to hold governors accountable in the running of the counties? The answers are yes, no, or maybe. Those are the options. Scan the QR code with your phone and put in your answer, and the results will come to us in real time. I believe our producers will leave the QR code on the screen as we proceed with the rest of the coverage. Is that right, Mr. Director? Excellent. And with that, let's continue. Now, the revamped e-Citizen platform was highly touted as a digital dream. But now a special audit report by the Auditor General has shed light on a dream that has now turned into a multi-billion shilling nightmare. E-Citizen now lies exposed as a tangled web of irregularities, unapproved payments, and shocking lack of government oversight, from ghost transactions to illegal charges. and a platform allegedly hijacked by its own vendor. eCitizen now bears the marks of a failing system. And as TV47's Sydney Chazima reports, a staggering 9 billion shillings in taxpayers' money may have vanished into thin air.
What was meant to be a routine National Assembly Committee meeting took a turn after a special audit report on the eCitizen platform by the Office of the Auditor General was presented. The 62-page document presented by the Deputy Auditor General Isaac Nganga revealed serious weaknesses in the eCitizen platform. The members of the Public Accounts Committee were shocked by what appeared to be a massive theft of public funds through a platform once marketed as secure.
This audit report is so serious. Again, it's a scam.
I don't even know where to start. I am actually, I don't know. I'm stressed.
The report explains that the fraud was made possible due to a lack of clear laws, a proper government structure, and operating procedures. The platform was under the Ministry of Interior and the National Treasury, but no oversight body was set up to monitor their activities.
The government digital payment platform lacks a legal framework to govern and manage its operation. Without a legal framework, the payment platform faces risks of non-compliance leading to potential legal disputes and underpinning public trust.
This lack of rules and guidelines allowed for questionable payments. The report says that because there were no agreements between the government and banks handling payments, a staggering Kenya shillings 7.05 billion collected in the 2023-2024 financial year could not be distributed to the right government agencies.
As a result, the funds held in the collection and settlement account as reflected in the eCitizen accountability statement for financial year ended 30th June 2024 amounted to 7 billion. The financial service providers may be utilizing the funds at the expense of service delivery by MDAs.
In the same year, the report shows that 2.57 billion shillings was paid out through the PesaFlow system without any invoices to support those payments.
According to the accountability statement, the unaccounted receipts were due to partial payments, erroneous payments, and duplicate payments. Given that these receipts could not be traced to invoices, there was no service rendered, and therefore, these do not qualify as government revenue. Instead, these receipts should be refundable to the payees. This further indicates a lack of revenue traceability and accountability, which can lead to misappropriation, fraud, or revenue leakages.
One of the biggest changes introduced by President Ruto was the use of a single government pay bill number 22222. But even here, the Auditor General found issues. In January 2024, 127 million shillings was transferred from the pay bill to 4 private companies instead of the official KCB bank account.
That all collections paid under the pay bill 22222 were expected to be auto-transferred to the settlement account held at KCB Bank. However, a review of the pay bill of the 22222 pay bill statement revealed that on 25th of January 2024, there were 4 transactions made from the pay bill account to private entities instead of designated settlement account.
This fraud had the common citizen too. The public was charged a convenience fee of 50 shillings per transaction. In total, 1.8 billion shillings and US dollars 3.3 million were collected illegally. According to the Auditor General, this fraud was possible because of a complex and unclear ownership structure of the eCitizen platform. One red flag was the platform's transfer to the National Treasury in 2017 by Webmasters, a private company that was maintaining it. It's still unclear how the control and ownership ended up back in the hands of Webmasters, resulting in another handover to the Treasury in 2023.
This one is to show that it's not actually digital, but it's like we went back to the manual system. Yes, which it looks even to be more worse than the way we expected.
Even after that 2023 transfer, the government still didn't gain full control of eCitizen and continued to depend on the private company. Worse, another 492 million was paid to a new entity called Electronic Citizen Solutions Limited for system support, a company that was never part of the original agreement.
We put brilliant ideas like this to steal, to loot,
from Kenyans. And mostly that is what happens in our country, Chairman. So I'll be very keen to go again, read this and interrogate before Treasury comes before this committee, and look forward that the observations that the Auditor General has made, and I'm sure we'll also add some recommendations as a committee.
The Auditor General is now urging the government to review the entire e-citizen system, calling for a proper legal framework, implementation of standard procedures, and a complete review of unaccounted payments. Sydney Chazima, for TV47, Nairobi.
There is fresh debate over the impact of the Hustler Fund after the Kenya Human Rights Commission launched a report recommending that this particular fund be scrapped. According to KHRC, the fund has failed to uplift the people it was meant to serve and empower. But the Ministry of Cooperatives and MSMEs has hit back, saying that millions of Kenyans are already benefiting from Hustler Fund. Our reporter, Muthoni Brenda, hit the streets to speak to everyday business owners and ask the big question: is Hustler Fund working for the hustlers? Let's take a look.
On 30th November 2022, small-scale business owners thronged the Green Park terminus in Nairobi to witness the launch of the Hustler Fund, a government initiative aimed at promoting financial inclusion by offering traders access to loans at an annual interest rate of 8%. Almost 3 years after its launch, a report by KHRC dubbed Failing the Hustlers has pointed out that the Hustler Fund has failed the hustler it was meant to empower. A report that has caused a standoff between the human rights group and the Ministry of Cooperatives and MSMEs. The cabinet secretary in charge of the ministry, Wycliffe Oparanya, led the defense on Monday when both institutions engaged in a tug of war, with each claiming to be the custodian of facts regarding the fund.
The ones who got between 500 and 1,000, which we have said is too many more to do anything, to start a business or grow it, most of them went off radar.
It claims we lend between 500 to 1,000. In fact, now it is 100 shillings to 150. We have even lowered it to 100.
It is totally flawed. It is economically unsustainable.
It might be sustainable or not sustainable, but at least the government had to start somewhere.
The default rate stood at 68.3%.
The default rate, which we know, is about 20%.
And there was no regulatory framework for loan recovery.
And we accept that time. People borrowed and disappeared.
The PS was obviously appealing to the National Treasury to ensure that this fund is continued.
This fund is supported by the Kenyan government. It's through allocation from the exchequer. What is wrong in that?
As the two institutions continue going neck to neck, business owners have also chimed in on the conversation, with some of them seemingly endorsing some of the findings in the KHRC report. Some of the small-scale traders that talked to TV47 explained that the loan amounts offered by the fund are not sufficient to start up a business, with some stating that they indeed took the loan but spent it on their daily meals and not in investments.
Hii mambo na hustler haisaidii juu unapata msee anapatiwa 500 na bado inaongezeka ni kama ni fuliza.
Kwa 500 peke yake. 500 yenyewe hata haizo nunua kitu kuongeza kwa biashara yangu.
Mambo ya kutoa 500 kusema kweli haiwezi saidia na haijasaidia. So sisi tuko tunatarajia maybe atapeana kuanzia 20,000.
The small-scale traders have further faulted the fund for its short repayment period, arguing that 14 to 30 days is too short to enable any business investment.
For example, kama mtu mwenye ana kazi, mpengi tano aanze biashara, na next month unafaa atarudisha na nini? Mimi kwa maana yangu niliona hakukuwa na mpangilio na hiyo pesa.
On the fund's default rate, some traders explained that they have not yet repaid their loans as its impact was not felt.
Chukua 500 na bado inapanda na sijalipa na sijui kama nitalipa, labda niongezewe.
Very interesting views right there. This is a story that's keeping on developing, and we shall be bringing you up to date on all that happens along that lane. But in the meantime, former Kakamega Senator and Deputy Party Leader of the Democracy for Citizens Party, that's DCP, Cleophas Malala, has been officially summoned to appear before the Directorate of Criminal Investigations in Kakamega by Friday this week. The summons follow an incident in which a helicopter carrying Malala landed at the Mumias Complex Sports Field during the final of a high school soccer tournament, an action that temporarily disrupted the match and sparked public outcry. Sheila Chelangat reports.
This incident occurred as Musingu High School and St. Joseph's Kitale faced off in the Term 2 Secondary Games football final at Mumias Complex Sports Field, forcing the match to a stoppage momentarily, allowing the helicopter carrying Cleophas Malala to land on the field. This has sparked outrage and serious safety concerns.
Let us not downplay this. The helicopter could have crashed. Learners could have been trembled in panic. Lives could have been lost. So let's not belittle this thing. This is a very serious thing.
Police have initiated investigations and summoned Malala to give an official statement regarding the incident. The landing has been labelled as a deliberate reckless act that violated civil aviation rules and Ministry of Education safety guidelines.
The action of that politician and the pilot are irresponsible and reckless and national embarrassment and a criminal offense for that matter.
Malala and the pilot alongside other accomplices are under investigation for several offences, including endangering public safety, trespass on public land and violation of Kenya's civil aviation regulations.
This ill-advised intrusion disrupted a national schools event, endangered lives, and caused panic.
Malala is expected to present himself at the DCI offices in Kakamega by Friday, August 8th to record his statement. Sheila Chelangat for TV47.
Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi has hit the campaign trail in Malava constituency, where he met hundreds of teachers in a strategic move to reclaim the parliamentary seat left vacant following the death of former MP Malulu Injendi. Flanked by a high-powered government delegation, Mudavadi urged residents to keep Malava in government by electing a UDA candidate, emphasizing that the contest is bigger than local politics. Apollo Kamau reports.
Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi went on a charm offensive in Malava constituency, where he met more than 3,000 teachers drawn across the constituency in UDA's bid to recapture the seat that fell vacant following the death of area MP Malulu Injendi early this year. Mudavadi reminding the region of the high stakes ahead, including President William Ruto's re-election bid, while leaving the fate of the party aspirant to be chosen from a long list of potential contenders in the hands of UDA Malava members during the upcoming nominations.
I have also come here to tell the 3,000 plus teachers, I have not come here to impose a leader on you. So if you are waiting for me to pronounce the name of a candidate, you will wait for a very long time. I came here so that we can have a conversation. What leadership does Malava deserve?
Malava mnasema forward ever, backward never. Mtasupport PCS, mtatupatia kiongozi wa Kenya kwanza wakati inatangazwa. Malava oye! Ruto KBB.
Watu wangu wa Malava, baada ya mwenda zake Malulu Injendi kuondoka, mimi nikabaki peke yangu kama mbunge wa UDA kutoka hapa Kakamega. Jamani, nimekuja kumuomba kama mwana wenu, mniunge mkono ule wakati utakapofika, jameni, msiniache.
Amid jitters on clan influence in the coming poll, where endorsements will be a matter of life and death for the aspirants, Mudavadi waded into the sensitive issue, urging Malava voters to overlook the historically influential clan factor and look for the right leadership.
So I have come to you as good people of Malava, with all humility, to tell you, please don't hide behind your clan to determine the leadership of Malava. Soita Shitanda came from a very small home of the Kabaras, but he gave good leadership. I told the elders the same.
The Malava by-election serves as a litmus test for Mudavadi's political influence amid a fierce onslaught from opposition parties, DAP Kenya and DCP. The outcome will be a key indicator of how Western Kenya may vote in the 2027 general election.
We sometimes want to be too localized to the extent that you don't see the bigger picture. Let Malava show us the way by showing us what is good for Malava and what is the bigger picture. Do you know, I've been telling people it's usually very difficult on African soil to defeat a president who is looking for his second term.
Mudavadi further promising the region the government will complete all unfinished projects in the area, while giving a 20 million check for Malava schools from President William Ruto. Apul Kamau, TV47.
Now, still on matters politics and by-elections, the Democracy for Citizens Party, that is DCP, has officially announced its lineup of candidates for all 22 upcoming by-elections across the country. Deputy Party Leader Cleophas Malala voiced confidence in the party's chances, saying that their aspirants are already deep into the grassroots campaigns. And with the political temperature rising, DCP says it's ready to offer fresh leadership and a fair nomination process.
Speaking at the DCP party headquarters, Malala has affirmed that the party has fielded candidates for all 22 by-elections. He has emphasized that the party will conduct transparent nominations in areas with multiple aspirants to select the best candidates.
We will have nominations in areas where we have more than one candidate, and we have agreed, and it's the resolve of the National Executive Council, that we are going to have a free and fair nomination. We are not going to favor any candidates.
Malala has also raised concerns with the IEBC, highlighting that the Commission has yet to announce dates for the upcoming by-elections, alleging that the efforts by the government to delay the elections.
Urge the IEBC to live by its words. Last time they addressed the press, they assured the nation that they are going to give us a date in a week's time. Up to today, IEBC has not given us the dates for the by-elections.
We are now set as the candidate of the party for the by-election. And we just want to urge the IEBC that this announcement for the by-election has taken so long, and we are now tired, but we are ready. Let them declare the position vacant so that we may hit the ground running.
Malala has dismissed speculation that Aden Mohamed had withdrawn from the Banisa constituency race. Aden also publicly denied withdrawal from the race, reaffirming his commitment to contest in the upcoming by-election.
I want to tell those people who are spreading rumors that there is no day under this sun. There is no person who can push me to pull out of this race. I am set and I am ready.
Malala has called on IEBC not to succumb to government pressure or intimidation, urging the electoral body to remain independent and impartial.
Now, amid persistent internal wrangles and a prolonged leadership crisis, the Jubilee Party has today convened a long-awaited National Executive Committee meeting, the first of its kind in months. The virtual meeting was chaired by former President Uhuru Kenyatta from the party's headquarters in Nairobi. The NEC gathering focused on assessing the current state of the party, reviewing progress on ongoing projects and discussing strategies to strengthen party operations and visibility at the national level. Jubilee's leadership pledged to deepen grassroots engagement and resolve internal disputes, as well as restoring the party's relevance in national political discourse. Now the news. Brian Kiplangat, the co-accused in a high-profile land fraud case involving former Lands Commissioner Sami Mwaita, has finally appeared in court after missing a previous session earlier this week. Appearing before Milimani Senior Principal Magistrate Ben Mark Ehubi, Kiplangat was formally charged with conspiracy to commit a felony and the forgery of land title documents. He denied the charges and was released on a 500,000 shilling bond or a 1 million shilling cash bail. The prosecution alleges that Kiplangat conspired with Mwaita in 2001 to unlawfully prepare title deeds for 2 parcels of land along Langata Road, one belonging to Rose Njoki Kingao and another to Mishugu Wagadaria, without the owner's knowledge or consent. Investigators believe that Kiplangat played a central role in the fraudulent scheme that led to the illegal registration of Plot A and Plot B, both located in Nairobi West and estimated to be worth over 150 million shillings. His no-show in court earlier prompted a summons, which he honored today.
Actually, when we got in touch with him, he has availed himself without much ado. Time is just totally a fabrication, which he'll have his day in court to counter it.
I've also noted the number of charges in terms of expiry in the past and the second. I note that
Folks, the Kenya Revenue Authority is celebrating a major win from the betting sector, having surpassed its revenue collection target for the year 2024-2025 financial year. KRA recorded an impressive 117.2% performance in excise duty collections from betting services. The authority collected 13.233 billion, beating the 11.288 billion target. Betting tax alone brought in about 5.7 billion, which is more than the projected 5.495 billion. This strong performance is credited to KRA's strategy of taxing at source, including real-time system integration with betting companies, even with tough economic times and a slower GDP growth of about 4.7%. KRA's overall collections rose by 6.8% to hit 2.571 trillion, showing its ability to adapt and effectively mobilize revenue. 340 young people from 10 different TVET institutions have graduated under the Tujiajiri program, an initiative designed to give the youth the practical skills they need to secure employment or start their own businesses. The program, which is implemented by Kenya Commercial Bank in partnership with the MasterCard Foundation, combines classroom learning, hands-on industrial attachments, and business development support. And of course, during the graduation ceremony in Nandi County, 136 toolkits were issued to help graduates begin their careers. So far, the Tujiajiri initiative has created more than 179,000 jobs and disbursed nearly 1.7 billion shillings in startup support.
Together, these 650 young champions embody the promise, resilience, innovative spirit of our great county. This milestone is a testament of the power of strategic collaboration.
This event is a reminder of the powerful impact of the Tujiajiri program in grassroots economic development. It represents KCB Foundation's commitment to tackle youth unemployment in the country.
Now, in sports, let's start with golf, and Rwanda's Celestin Nsazuwera and Golf Park's David Wahu have surged to the top of the leaderboard on day 2 of the Sunshine Development Tour of East Africa swing at the Nyali Golf and Country Club. Following impressive second-round performances in improving weather conditions, Nsazuwera, who started the day at 3 over par, recovered with a composed round of 3 under 68 to finish on level par 142. Sharing the lead heading into Wednesday's final round, Day 1 leader Justus Madoya slipped into 4th after a 2 over par 73, while Muthaiga's Greg Snow was 5th on 3 over par 145 after a second round 73. Of course, this is a score that he was able to play. Now, a total of 30 players made the cut, which was set at 13 over par. The final round takes place tomorrow, with players eyeing the 2 million shilling cash prize purse, crucial world golf ranking points.
Within my means and the game plan, I think there was a flow. So everything was just flowing until probably one hole is when I got a little bit of a struggle on the 10th, because on that tee box where we were situated at, I've never played from there. So that was the first bogey I got, and then I was like, you know, it's not over until the last part.
My round today, I started struggling with the wind a bit, and I could manage to play 3 under, which was my game plan. Since I came with the game plan, and then I could manage to score. I had the game plan of hitting off the tee into the fairways, and I have a plan of not 3-putting in each green, and I made it.
Now, the Kenya national men's football team, Harambee Stars, is finalizing preparations ahead of their Group A fixture against Angola, a fixture that is set for Wednesday at the Kasarani Stadium. Coach Benny McCarthy's side is riding high after their opening match victory against the Democratic Republic of Congo on Sunday. The team's confidence has been boosted by widespread public and government support ahead of the crucial tie.
If you're going to get punished, you want to win. so that you don't get punished. So it's all about creating winning mentality, winning teams, winning spirit, because when you train to win, because what you do in training, you do in a match as well. So I think what I just try and make players understand that every single training session should be taken as serious as a match.
I'm lucky that most of the midfielders called up for the national team may play now at some point. So na feel hiyo jeli haiko mbaya sana because at some point tumecheza nao. So niko happy sana, nasema niko lucky to have players nimecheza nao at some point.
Main thing kwa sports ni confidence, kuji-express. As long as kuna confidence, kuji-express itakuwa easy. So nothing more. Hiyo ingine off the field ni hard work tu. Tunajisukuma tuweze kuachieve, tucheze final, tuko home. So as long as tutajituma tufike final, I think most of the players hawatakuwa hapa next year.